Sure, and let me give you some statistics to show you how rare this is. In 2024, the feds arrested and indicted arrested 130,000 people. They sought 130,000 indictments. They got 129,994 of them. Only 6 cases of 130,000 they failed to get indictments. This is unheard of. I shouldn't say it's unheard of. It's happened historically. It's exceptionally rare. The DOJ has a rule. It's just a rule. It's not a law. After the 3rd time, they're not going to do it. Can they seek to go before a 4th grand jury? Yes, they can seek as many as they want. But they basically have come to the conclusion that if we can't get it 3 times, the defendant walks.
Now, the other side of this coin is the statement put out by Abby Lowell. If we could take a look at that again, that was D02A. So Abby Lowell went on to say, again, for the 2nd time in 7 days, and talked about the DOJ failing in its clear attempt to fulfill President Trump's political vendetta. Now, that I would take issue with, because if you reverse this, it was A.G. James that campaigned on getting Trump.
Correct.
The vendetta existed in her campaign.
I got to tell you, I know Abby Lowell. He is a highly regarded criminal defense lawyer, but his statement here is a political statement. You're 100% correct. However, this is humiliating for the DOJ, and it either is a case where there is inadequate evidence there, or it is being perceived as political by the grand jurors, and they're pushing back on the DOJ. Is there anything that the DOJ can do if they can't get an indictment? No, there's no lesser that I can think of, lesser included charge that they could charge her with that doesn't require an indictment. They can charge her with a misdemeanor. The difference between a misdemeanor and a felony is the length of the punishment. Less than a year, maximum misdemeanor, year or more felony. That's basically the difference between the two. Felony requires a grand jury indictment. Misdemeanor does not. But there's no misdemeanor here. So they're just going to have to give up the ghost on this unless they try it one more time, or as many times as they want, and keep failing.
All right, let's move on to this story. Switching gears if we can here. Kilmar Abrego Garcia back in the headlines, released from immigration detention after a Maryland district judge wrote in her ruling this. Quote, since Abrego Garcia's return from wrongful detention in El Salvador, he has been re-detained again without lawful authority. For this reason, the court will grant Abrego Garcia's petition for immediate release from ICE custody. In response to the order, Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin came out saying this order lacks any valid legal basis, and we will continue this fight tooth and nail in the courts, end quote. The judge also just issued an order prohibiting ICE from arresting Garcia. This name has been in the headlines, Judge, for quite some time.
Boy. How many times have you and I talked about this?
Quite a few.
Many times. This is the poster boy, so to speak, for the president's efforts to deport illegals and the resistance with which those efforts can be met through the court system. I understand that the president, DHS, are very frustrated. The judge in this case did not say he is not deportable. She said to the DOJ, do you have an order of deportation? Well, we can't find one. And then she said to defense counsel, this happened in the courtroom 2 days ago. She said to defense counsel, do you have an order prohibiting deportation? Yeah, there's 3 of them. Where are those orders from? From immigration judges. So 3 different immigration judges, for various reasons, have prohibited his deportation. The DOJ does not have an order for deportation. Therefore, he was released from custody. When he reported to ICE this morning, they were there ready to rearrest him this morning. Shortly before you came on air, on an emergency basis, she issues an order saying to ICE, you may not arrest him. Now, that is an extraordinary order for a judge to say to the executive branch, you can't arrest someone. That precludes them from doing their job. But what she really meant was you can't arrest him for this. If some new thing happens, some new evidence comes to your attention, or he does something that is illegal, of course you can arrest him. But you cannot arrest him to deport him or detain him because 3 immigration judges have said he's not deportable or detainable.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.